Blackstone Audio presents An American Type by Henry Roth, edited by Willing Davidson. To the memory of Leah, my mother. Just see, my child, how some fruit ripens at the glance of the sun, and some fruit takes all summer. Prologue. At times in flight, I was courting a young woman, if the kind of brusque, uncertain, equivocal attentions I paid her might be called courting. It was for me, at any rate, never having done it before. I met her at Yaddo, the artists' colony, a place you've probably heard of, where writers, painters, and musicians were invited for the summer, or part of it, in the hope that, relieved of their usual pressures and preoccupations and provided with abundant leisure, they would create. Unfortunately, it didn't work that way, as you've probably also heard. Most of us needed pressure and preoccupation, since once there we loafed, or spent a great deal of time in frivolity and idle chatter. This was during the time of the Spanish Civil War, in 1938 to be exact, and of course that formed a part of our conversation, the fact that the Loyalists seemed on the verge of victory and yet incapable of gaining it. There was also at that time a kind of projection of the Marxist mood among young intellectuals. I mention these things to recall the mood of the time, as it seemed to me. I was then engaged in writing a second novel, which I had agreed to complete for my publisher. I had already written quite a section, and this opening section had been accepted and extolled. It was only necessary for me to finish it. But it went badly from then on. In fact, it had gone badly before I reached Yaddo. I can't blame Yaddo for that. They provided me with the necessary environment to write in. It had gone badly. Aims had become lost, purpose, momentum lost. A profound change seemed to be taking place within me in the way I viewed my craft, in my objectivity. It is difficult to say. I am, unfortunately, not analytical enough to be capable of isolating the trouble, though I don't know what good that would have done either. That was the time, the general mood, the predicament out of which this story comes. The young woman I was courting, we shall call her M, was a very personable, tall, fair-haired young woman, a pianist and composer. A young woman with a world of patience, practicality, and self-discipline, bred and raised in the best traditions of New England and the Middle West, the most wholesome traditions. I was, at that time, sufficiently advanced and...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?